How LGDs move goats without touching them. Most people think livestock guardian dogs only react to predators. They imagine barking, chasing, running, and dramatic movement. But if you watch experienced LGDs long enough, you'll notice something strange. The goats move even when the dog never touches them. No barking, no chasing, no physical correction, just presence. And somehow, the herd shifts direction. That's not coincidence, that's pressure. Today, we're breaking down how livestock guardian dogs move goats without touching them, and why this quiet control is one of the most misunderstood parts of guardian behavior. Before anything else, we need to separate two ideas people mix up constantly. Herding dogs push livestock. Guardian dogs influence livestock. A herding dog applies force, drives motion, reacts quickly. A guardian dog holds space, controls distance, shapes decisions. The goal isn't speed, the goal is stability. When a guardian dog moves goats, it's not hurting them, it's changing the environment so goats choose a different direction. Goats don't respond to volume, they respond to posture. They notice where the dog stands, which direction the dog faces, how still the dog remains. A calm LGD angled toward a herd creates a boundary without contact. From the dog's perspective, the posture says the space is closed, so goats turn away, not because they were chased, but because the path feels blocked. Pressure isn't noise. Pressure is orientation. When a guardian dog positions itself between goats and an open edge, it changes how goats perceive safety. They drift inward, not suddenly, not dramatically, just enough to stay inside the safer zone. Most owners never notice this because it looks like nothing happened. Fast movement scares goats. Stillness guides them. A dog that freezes at the right angle creates a psychological weight. Goats read that stillness as awareness, and awareness equals safety. That's why many experienced LGDs barely move when influencing herd direction. They don't need to chase. They just need to exist in the right place. Every pasture has invisible lines, edges goats hesitate to cross, wind directions that carry scent, terrain transitions. Guardian dogs learn these lines through repetition. When a dog stands at one of those invisible boundaries, goats naturally avoid crossing it. From a human perspective, nothing happens. From the herd's perspective, space just closed. Young guardian dogs often follow goats too closely. They walk behind the herd, bump animals accidentally, react emotionally. That's normal. It takes maturity for a dog to learn that distance is more effective than contact. As they age, you'll see a shift. Less chasing, more positioning. That's development, not laziness. Goats don't immediately respect a young guardian. They test boundaries by walking past the dog, ignoring posture, pushing toward edges. An experienced LGD doesn't escalate, it adjusts angles. Moves one step forward, stops again. Over time, goats learn that certain directions feel closed. No biting, no force, just consistent presence. Loud dogs create chaos. Calm dogs create structure. When a dog barks constantly, goats scatter. When a dog moves quietly, goats reorganize. That difference determines whether the herd movement looks like panic or quiet adjustment. When you have more than one guardian dog, something interesting happens. They rarely stand together. Instead, one dog holds the herd line, another closes the edge, another patrols distance. This creates layered pressure. Goats feel surrounded by safety without being pushed, and predators see a system instead of a single point of resistance. Dogs often choose higher ground or narrow paths because terrain amplifies pressure. Standing on a hill expands visibility, strengthens scent signals, reduces the need to move. Goats instinctively drift toward lower, safer ground when a dog occupies elevation. Again, no contact required. At night, goats rely more on scent and sound than sight. A guardian dog shifting position quietly can redirect herd spacing without waking the animals. You'll see goats cluster tighter, not because they were chased, but because the dog changed the atmosphere of the pasture. Because the movement is subtle, there's no dramatic moment, just small adjustments. Goats grazing closer together, herds slowly drifting away from edges, kids staying near the dog. It feels uneventful, but uneventful is exactly what prevention looks like. Sometimes goats need correction, especially young ones that wonder. A guardian dog may step forward slowly, hold eye contact, block forward motion. That's enough. The goat changes direction without being touched. This teaches boundaries without creating fear. Pressure stops working when the dog lacks confidence, terrain is too open, goats are too spread out, predator pressure is constant. In those cases, goats stop reading posture and start acting independently. That's when additional dogs or better pasture design become necessary. Predators watch herd behavior closely. A scattered herd signals weakness. A calm, tight herd signals presence. When a guardian dog silently moves goats into safer spacing, predators often abandon the approach before goats even notice. Goats don't need a dog touching them to feel protected. They need predictable positioning, calm energy, clear boundaries. A dog that constantly pushes or crowds goats creates stress. A dog that shapes space builds trust. Most dogs don't master pressure until 18 months to 3 years old. Before that, they rely more on movement than positioning. Owners often mistake this phase for failure, but it's simply the learning process. The strongest guardian dogs don't control goats through force. They change how space feels. They close paths quietly. They influence decisions without confrontation. And when goats move on their own, calm, steady, and aware, that's when you know the dog isn't just guarding, it's shaping the herd. If you enjoyed this video or if you learned something new, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.